We're back to part two, and we're going to get started. Now I'm going to bring back up that file that I was in brackets, and let's get started back. So, remind me tomorrow. So we kind of built this out. Like I said, we're just literally blocking things out, and I actually may come back and change this up. And if you followed in the next video, you kind of know how to do it anyway, but I kind of want to keep this centered kind of directly with the line here, and I can tell it's kind of off-centered. So I'll go back and fix that a little bit later. I'm not necessarily concerned about that. We can go back and make fine adjustments later. But what I want to do now is actually start building out my landing page, which we started, but what I want is an image here, and then under it maybe like a name, and then you'll also have like paragraphs of text associated with your bio. You'll have information about yourself. That's what this is about. It's about you. So you finally get to be selfish for once. So what I want you to do is let's go in and we're going to come down to our HTML. All right. Now, you guys remember when I told you how to write comments. So I'm going to put a comment here, and I'm going to say end of header. Just write that. Now remember, you can just hit Command question mark, and it puts that comment there. So we got a general idea of where things are actually located on our page. Now, this wrapper is where we're going to put all our content, because now I want things to be restricted in size. I don't want this to go all over the place. It's fine for the header, but for my wrapper, not what I actually want. I don't want that at all. So what I'm going to do is start building this out. First thing that I'm going to do is I actually want to add an actual div here to kind of separate this. So what I'm going to do, remember you can create a div inside of a div, and I'll just say open char, and I'll just say div ID equals, and let's just call this something like landing page. So this div is going to literally contain all of our content for our landing page. And I'll just kind of come down so you can focus in on this. And like I said, you're going to start having a lot of divs. So it's a good idea to just come in and say end of landing page div. Something like that. And hit Command question mark. So you're staying organized. This is important here, because this is going to start getting piled up pretty quickly, very, very fast. So let's get started. So what do I want on this landing page? The first thing that I want is my actual image. I probably want my image to be here. So let's go in and let's say open char, and I'm going to say image source equals, and let's go to our images folder and let's find our mugshot. And there it is. I don't need the CSS right at this point. I'll bring it back. Now, the width is 225 pixels, about 225 pixels. I probably want it to be a little bigger. Now, honestly, it's not a good idea to scale up, but for the purpose of this video, it's fine. I'll just say width equals 300 pixels. Alright. And let's give this a class, because we possibly might need to go in and do some manipulation to this one image. So I'll just call this mug shot. Mug shot. There we go. So we're good. So we got that set up at this point. Okay, so if I hit save, there it is. Okay. Now, what about this image might we want to change? First thing I probably want to do is to have this centered. That's what I want necessarily. So I want to center this image. Now, if you know specifically, an image is what we call an inline element. And you're going to know that here. So if I come down in my CSS, let's do .mugshot, because we are coding for a class. let's write margin 0 auto here. And you should know that margin 0 auto centers. You should know that by now. There it is. It didn't listen. Now you know the reason why we use inline versus block. An inline element will not listen to my margin 0 auto. So what I need to do is tell it, hey, you need to act like a block level element because I want you to start listening to my margins. So the way that we do that is on the mugshot or the image, let's do a display tag. Alright. And this display tag, let's just write not black, block. There we go. Display block, hit save. And there we go. There's my image right there. And we're going to end up changing the spacing so it's not so close to the header here, but we'll worry about that a little bit later. Not necessarily right now at this point. Okay. Let's go in and let's fix this. Let's go in and touch some things up. Next thing I want to do is I actually want to add some text. You're going to have information. And it's good to start keeping these things separated. Now this div will control everything that's in this landing page div, but I may want to separate my text in case or something like that. So let's just call this div, and we'll give this an ID. And how about we just call this bio? So let's go in and write a comment end of bio div. So you can see I'm keeping things fairly organized. It's a lot easier that way. If you want to write, start of wrapper, then start of landing page div, feel free. It's a great idea to keep things organized. Can't stress that enough. Need some water here. I've been talking too much. Okay, so what's going to go in this dio div? Well, of course, most likely a p tag, right? Because this is going to have a paragraph of text. That's what we want. So let me go in and grab some lorem ipsum here. Lorem ipsum. Doesn't matter what you got. Could not communicate with server. Find any text that you can find on the internet. Used to have a good site. I don't know. Did they shut it down? Maybe, maybe not. This is fine. I'll copy this. Now, you're not going to have lorem ipsum. You're going to actually have real text here. There we go. And I'm going to get this view singled, so no split, so you can see all of this. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of duplicate this in here, because you're going to see something a little later here. Great. And now you've got your text here. And I'm going to add a bunch more. I'm just going to kind of copy and then paste this. It doesn't matter. I just want to do something a little later here to show you something. Because I want this to actually scroll. That's perfect. Perfect. Alright. So literally, you got your text. Now if you want to make the font size bigger on the p tag, feel free. Just go into the code and write something for it. That's all you literally have to do. You should know how to create a font size by now. But there is something that I want to actually do, and this is new. On portfolios, a lot of times you do not want your actual header to go away. You want it to be sort of stuck here. And I don't want it to move, so I want all my text to sort of go under this header. And we got to do something here. Whenever you want something like this header to be stuck and not move, that is what we call a CSS position. And there are a bunch of different positioning, but this one is the one that you will want to understand. I want this to be what we call fixed. That means it's going to stay in place and everything else will just go under it. So my header will stay at this spot and not move. That's what I want to do here. So let's go in and let me go to my style sheet and let's find our header. There it is. I want you to go in and I want you to type position. Alright, you'll see a couple of them. But the position that I want is I want a fixed position. And you're going to notice some things are going to look strange. We got a couple problems here. Number one, what's actually happening here is my header isn't directly at the top. That's an issue. But also my image is getting cut off. And that's what's happening with fixed position. It does cause some problems that we need to address. So you can see, the image behind it. So in the header, I need to tell it, I want you to be directly at the top, and I don't want you to move. So the way that we do that is you literally just write top, and you're going to give it the value of 0. So top 0. That will literally keep this directly at the top, which is great, what I want to happen. Let's see if that worked. Yes, it did. You can also see I have a little gap right there on the left-hand side. We can fix that too. That's the left-hand side. So if I just say left, and I say 0, that means I want you directly, purely on the left-hand side. Aha. Now we're getting there. Okay. Now, the last thing I need to do in order to make this work is I need to actually push all of my content down. Now you can see why I put this sort of in its own little div here. So what I'm going to do is, we did code, if we go to my index, we coded something for a landing page, did we not? What I need to do is I need to push this down. So in the style sheet, let's do hashtag landing page. Hashtag landing page. And at this point, what I want to do is I want to tell it, hey, I need you to push down. So I'm going to say margin. Actually margin, and then I'm going to say top, because I want it to push down. And our header is directly 120 pixels, so you may want to add a little bit more spacing. So if I say like 130 pixels, something like that, I should have some good spacing here. And there we go. It's sliding up under it. Now, if you want to start styling up your text here, I'll show you a quick way to do that before I end this video. What I can do at this point is, this is my bio info, correct? So how about we give this p tag a class so that we're not directly affecting every single p tag, because you will end up adding more p tags later on. So let's say p class equals, and let's just call this something like bio info. So p class bio info. So literally I'm giving this is my bio info. I'm uniquely identifying this. So I can come in and now say dot bio info, because this is a class. You can give this, a font size. And I can say font size, you know, hey, I want you to be like 15 pixels. Maybe even a little bit. How about we say 30 pixels? Right? And then, if you wanted to change the font, you could literally say font family. And I'll just choose something easy. I'll just choose sans serif. There we go. Pretty ugly, but you can see that it did the deed here. Now, we're also probably facing a couple of issues here. Um, but, you know, as far as, you know, the text not being totally centered or anything like that on the actual right-hand side. And we'll come back and we will fix this here in a second, later on in the next actual video. So like I said, we're literally just blocking things out, and then we'll come in and fix these issues. Alright, so that ends this video. So we actually built out our actual landing page and we are set up. So hope you enjoyed that video. We'll go to the next video here in a little bit.